Hey guys, I'm in this video we're just going to look at how to set up your book, your maths book. So you're going to need your book, a ruler, and a pen, red pen for your margins, and then your normal suite of colours that you would usually use as well. So I've got my pens here that I use. Blue and black, red a minimum, because that's what we have at school, ready to learn. However, you may include one of our colours that help you study. So it's important to have great notes, because if you are revising for an end of semester unit term exam, it helps to have notes that you can retrieve, recall, and work back over and seek clarification from things you might have forgotten about or didn't quite a good grasp on when we started studying it. So I've already started with like a little narrow margin down here. You can see in my book I've got a dot. It's just kind of ballparking where the middle is, but I can tell you what, now it's a bit off. Yeah, you can do this two ways. You can do it the cheater way, which is just fold your page in half and crease and then draw your line. That works really well for those lined books. I'm noticing that the grid books don't work so nicely for that, because you can tell when the lines are off. Now, if you're a bit like me, you might find it really annoying if your line sat in the middle of two grid lines. So I'm going to measure my page from this margin. Since 19, half of 19 is 9.5, so I'm just going to draw a line there, and then I'm going to draw from the top to the bottom a straight line with a ruler. Cool. And that would be your page. Now, when you get set up, you would put the date. Sorry, here's my blue pen. You would put the date here. Then there would be a title. So in this case, I'm going to put our title as how to set up your book. Okay. And then your learning goal. So regardless of if I'm flipping or if I'm doing a normal class, I will get you guys to write down your learning goal. And so for the purpose of this video, as we're going to treat it like everything else, it does have a learning goal. It's to implement bookwork procedure, to improve study. Now, normally we wouldn't write our success criteria down, but I am for this video, because by the end of the video you should be able to demonstrate and produce bookwork following these standards or procedures. So you would have something along the lines of that. So each lesson you should have a date, the title of it, and then the learning goal and success criteria. You then might have your warm-up questions, and you would title that warm-up. Start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There might be 5 quick questions. Now, I'm only writing a little bit larger, write to what feels comfortable for you. This is just for the video. So the first question might be 1/2 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. And then the next one might be 50 times 200, and the answer is going to be 10,000. I hope I'm alright. And then you might have something else. So there might be x squared plus 2 equals 27, and then you would have to solve for x. I should have left more room for that, and so forth. So you would have your answers there. Okay, and then when we get into the I do, we do, you do phase, you would have like your I do, like you probably wait for the teacher, but there would be like the I do example. And so, for example, we look back at like this question here. I'm going to be like adding with different denominators. There you go. So adding with different denominators, and I'm going to write the example out. 1/2 plus 1/4 equals. Now you're going to start noticing that the reason why we've got this vertical line in here is so that we can go down the page. I'm just going to shuffle my book up a little bit. So I would equal, these are going to be equivalent. I'm going to adjust this one. So times 2, what I do at the top, I do the bottom. And 2/4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. So now you can see that I've actually kept my equal signs aligned with each other. And then you might have like the we do example. Something similar again. And then it might be you do. And this is generally your independent work. And if you are using if you are using a textbook, you would have the exercise, whatever it is. So generally it's like a, let's say 12.2. The page number that we're referring to, this will be given often by your teacher, probably me. So page 135. I don't think that's the case. I'm just going ad hoc here. And then you would have the questions. So you would have like 1A. You would write the question out. So it might be 3/5 plus 2 tenths equals, and you would do the process. So in this case, we would make them equivalent. And that would be, just so I'm in good practice here, 6/10 plus 2/10 equals 8/10, and simplified plus 4/5. Notice how each time I've done a different line, it has been a different equal signs. Think of equal as an enter. So, and then you would do like the next question, question 2A, or whatever it is, and so forth. If you have, say, like a, if you've got other things that are going on, like a class task or inquiry task, follow your instructions, write it out. If you're unsure and you feel like you might want to write it out, by all means go for it. I will try and issue all your resources to you electronically, so you'll find them on our LLMS, so that's a learning management system like Blackboard, or I'll send them out as emails to you. So as you can see, book is set up nicely. If we're going to do some equations, so 2x plus 6 equals 18. Because we are still learning our star bridge, minus 6 gives us 12, 2x. And you're noticing how I'm keeping, again, those equal signs under each other. So you would have something like that. You might even have, if you are drawing in shapes, so say we are going and drawing in a graph, so 3, you might have a graph. Use your lines in your book. This might be your X, Y. Label your axes. I'm doing it for the purposes of time. I'm just going to leave them. And you would sketch your points. Y equals X is the formula. And I can connect my dots, or my points on my plane, like so. So that is another way of using your graph book. That is a lot easier, and it looks a lot neater when you use a graph for plotting coordinates. And if you're drawing shapes as well, that's really helpful, because then you can use the lines to guide your shapes. So using a ruler will allow you to draw them probably a lot quicker and a lot neater. We have 4 centimeters. A equals L times W, or L squared, which equals 4 centimeters. 4 squared. If you do make an error, don't do what I just did. Just put a single line through it. Equals 16 centimeters squared. Cool. I hope that helps with your stuff. So that's how you should be setting up your books. Cool, guys. Thanks.